here we go. I'm going to do a cosplay tag because I kind of feel like doing it tonight. And one of the rules is to get into your cosplay, or your next cosplay, I think. And this is really the only cosplay I have planned for my next convention. Sorry, I'm playing around with my bangs on this wig because they're too long and I need to trim them and style them. So this is my next cosplay, and it's Megarine Luga. I don't know how to pronounce her last name actually, so yeah, it's Luga the Vocaloid, and I'm going to be doing kind of like a secret cosplay, I guess you could call it. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of just my own thing with her. I'm not really going off of a pre-existing costume of hers because Vocaloids are kind of like the free thing, so yeah. So the first question is, who did you first cosplay as? I first cosplayed as Elle from Death Note. And the next question is, when did and where did you first cosplay? And it was for Halloween when I was in 8th grade. Me and my friends decided we were going to cosplay for trick-or-treating, and I was Elle and one of my friends was Near, and then my other friend was Tuxedo Mask. So that was kind of, that's kind of why I first cosplayed too, because I wanted something cool for Halloween. The next question is, when and where was the last time you cosplayed? Wasabi 2012, which was March 9th through 11th, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So pretty recently, and I'm cosplaying kind of right now, so yeah. Have you ever had your picture taken at a convention? Yes. That's kind of a big thing at conventions. But I cosplay a really, like, my biggest costumes are all kind of not very popular characters, so most of the time I don't get my picture taken, but I really don't care. It's not why I cosplay, it's not a big part of my cosplay, so, my cosplay thing, so there you have it. Have you ever cosplayed at, sorry, my chat is going off because I have to use my laptop for the questions. Have you ever cosplayed at a rave? I did at NDK 2011. Sorry, I'm going to turn the sounds off. Oh, no, I can't do that right now, sorry. So it's going to keep going off like crazy, and I apologize. Have you ever so I'm going to restart that question. Have you ever cosplayed at a rave? I did at NDK 2011 for the Masquerade, and I cosplayed Yoin Haku. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, once again. And that was kind of hellacious with the long wig. I braided it and everything, and it still got tangled to all craziness, so if I do cosplay at a rave ever again, it's going to be a character with short hair. Because it's just too hot in there. It's too hot in there to really care about anything about your appearance, and it's just like, ugh. Have you ever made an alternative outfit for your character based on an inside joke? No. I don't know if any of my friends have ever done that, actually. So yeah, have you ever done fan service in a cosplay? I did at my very first convention because my friend and I cosplayed two characters that are apparently put together quite a bit. At the time I didn't know, and people were asking us for fan service more or less left and right, and that was kind of like, I don't know, I was blushing like 80 different shades of red the entire time, so that was kind of that. And I was the UK, so I guess it kind of like portrayed it really well because I was really like, oh my god. Anyways, have you made friends from cosplay? A lot. Yeah, most definitely. Oh. Who have you cosplayed in the past? Well, I have a few like retired costumes, but most of the costumes I have now I still cosplay as, but I have Elle from Death Note, as I mentioned before. I have Alan Walker's first and 3rd uniform, and I also kind of made a goth version of him that never really got 100% debuted, but I still have it because it was kind of like my own clothing just pulled out of the closet. Neji Shippuden, Neji Hyuga Shippuden. I also have a Mafia version of him, I have a schoolboy version of him, I have a goth version of him, and then I have Naruto, and I only have casual cosplays for him. I have a Mafia and a schoolboy version of him, and I could probably pull a goth version out of my closet because, yeah. And then I have Sobi from Loveless, and I have a casual Amu costume, and I have Akira from Togane Nochi. I don't know how to pronounce that anime, so I'm assuming that I just pronounced it wrong, but you know, shh. And then now I have Luca right now, and she's the only one I have planned for IndieK so far, so that's it, I think. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, and now it's anything in progress. I kind of said that in the beginning of the video. Luca, gonna do my own version of her, and that's that. Let's see. Who's your favorite character to cosplay as? I don't really have a favorite because I have fun in kind of all of my costumes, but I do have like a least favorite costume to cosplay as, and that's Alan Walker from Degraming. Because not only is that both of those all of my costumes for him really hot, but my wig is a total hot mess in the back, so it's all like matted and it itches really bad on the back of my neck, and I can't stand it, and I have to bind, and it's just, he's not very many I have a lot of fond memories and a lot of really not fond memories from that costume, so he's kind of like my least favorite. That's my least favorite costume. I don't really have a favorite costume to cosplay as. So yeah. Who do you really want to cosplay as? I really want to cosplay Misery, the guitarist for Megalomania from the Apocalypse PV, but I lack enough reference pictures and skill to really pull that off, so yeah. And finding a wig for him would be kind of hellacious, so that's probably never going to happen, but I would love to do it maybe one of these days if I can like learn how to sew wigs together, but I really doubt that's going to happen. How many of your friends cosplay? All of them, except for like maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, all of my friends are nerds with me, so there's that. Have you ever walked around in public in your cosplays? Yeah, like I've ventured pretty far away from the convention center before and been around people that hadn't seen like the fact that there's like about 300 people that way in full costume. So there's that, and then whenever I go to a photo shoot with my friends, I'm out in cosplay, kind of in public. We went to a library, the Asian food market, and a thrift store in full cosplay, Okami Kakushi, and she was as Inuyasha, and that was pretty ridiculous. And I've gone to the convenience store up by my house multiple times in L, and that's kind of like a funny story because I was actually the lady, every time I go in L cosplay, she says, "Thank you for your purchase, sir." I'm like, I'm not that girly looking, but thanks anyway, I guess. It makes me laugh every single time when she says, "Thank you for your purchase, sir." I'm a girl. Yeah. What is your favorite cosplay memory? I would probably say the video on YouTube I have of me and my friends before the rave of IndieK 2011, dancing around and goofing off and dying of laughter would probably be one of my top favorites, but really I have so many memories in cosplay at this point in time that I really can't decide. So pretty much every single one of my memories in cosplay are like my favorite, I guess. What is your worst cosplay memory? Wasabi 2011 Sunday. That entire day just really sucked, and I'm not going to go into further detail because it's unnecessary. What is the best thing about cosplay? It's a tie between making my costumes and meeting new people, I'd say, because the people I've met through cosplay have probably become more or less like the only people that I really, not the only people, they've just become like some of the closest people I've ever been to, and they're all really great people. So yeah, the worst thing about cosplay, when people faltering for words, and I've said this 3 times now, when people kind of like bash on other people's costumes, like no matter what, you have in some way, shape, or form put some effort into your costume, and I really don't think people have a right to judge that, because like I don't like it when people bash on other people's costumes. It really irritates me because I know for me, I've sacrificed summers, entire summers, and entire winters on costumes just because I like make them all. So I know everybody puts a lot of effort into their costumes, and other people are bashing on them. It just like, don't do that to people. It's really just trying to think of something else about worst thing about cosplay. Binding is hellacious, and it really sucks. I always like bind too tight, and then I get like my skin just becomes completely raw, like on my sides, and it digs into my sides, and like if I bind for like 3 days in a row, which I have done, I end up with huge like red chafing and rash, and it's awful. Why do you cosplay? I don't really know why. Because it's fun. I think that's really all I have to say about that, because it's fun. What is your favorite part about cosplaying? Like, it's a tie between meeting people, making my costumes, and probably the creative amount of effort into it. Kind of the whole cosplay community as like the cosplay community as a whole is really just about creativity. There's the photography aspect, there's like the makeup aspect, there's the hairstyling, hair cutting aspect, there's the sewing aspect, there's the making props aspect, and making props is kind of like, I hate doing that, but I will do it. There's making props, there's like binding stuff, there's digging through piles of stuff at thrift stores, there's the photography, there's learning Photoshop on your own, there's, I don't know, there's just so many things creative-wise about cosplay that I love, so that's that. And the last one is going to be cosplay pet peeves. I have a few, but I don't know, it's kind of a lot of the general ones. Not binding when you're cross-playing really bugs me. This kind of is going to contradict a lot of the don't bash other people's costumes. This is just stuff that kind of I'm like, you could have put a little more effort into. Not wearing a wig kind of bugs me because characters all have kind of crazy hair, so I don't think you can really achieve that with your natural hair. That's just my opinion though. I think you should get a wig to complete a costume, but that's, once again, that's just entirely me. Just ignore me here. And guys that are cosplaying characters that have like tank tops or something and not shaving, that's just, I have issues with body hair, so when you have your favorite characters like, yeah, and then you're like, oh, arm hair. Yeah, that's just one of those things where I'm like, no, I don't need to see that. Yeah, that's really it. Not binding, not putting effort into a wig, and, sorry, there goes my chat again, and body hair. I think those are my biggest cosplay pet peeves. I really don't think there's anything else. I'm pretty mellow with costumes. Okay, that's like kind of a lie, but certain aspects of costuming I'm just like, meh, whatever. So that's kind of it. I'm not going to tag anybody because I really don't know many of my friends' YouTube channel tag things, so tag yourself if you feel like it, I guess. Do it if you feel like it. I'm really not forcing anybody to do so. So yeah, hopefully I'll be uploading more regularly soon. Bye guys.